Okay. So right now, the first ones that you've already come across or you must have heard of is the bar charts. Okay. So bar chart, basically, I'm going to explain all of these to you in the next few slides. Okay. So bar chart is the first one. It's named Gantt chart after the after the inventor whose name is Henry Gantt. We have the WBS, which is a work breakdown structure. Then we have the network methods, which includes a lot of it, but then we'll be focusing on PERT and CPM by the end of this unit. Okay, so I'm going to start with the bar chart. So this is an example of a typical bar chart or a Gantt chart. So it was invented in 1900 AD by Henry Gantt, and it's a very simple tool. It's one of the oldest tools. You basically show the activities as bars. That's the logic, okay? And you have a timeline that's associated to it. So you know how in math you have like an X and a Y axis, right? So you have a task and you have the particular timeline associated on one of the axes. It could be reversed, but usually we represent all of this horizontally. And so, say, let's take a look at this particular thing. So, in planning, or in the phase of planning or in the task of planning, we'll be spending from say mid-Jan till mid of March, right? That's how you read this particular chart. So you look at the starting point, you look at the ending point. Are there more accurate charts that are prepared? Here we have like an approximate, reading. So this could be half, and this is a one third, or two-third, or a halfway point. All of this might be slightly more detailed in certain cases. You might have the exact dates, and then these bars might be, drawn to understand. So the level of detailing also depends on the kind of project or kind of people that are involved, whether or not you need such details in going further. So this is so what people do these days is that they take the bar chart or they take the Gantt chart as like a overview creator. Okay, so to understand the first level of things, just okay, say for example, the same gate example, I'll take it. So if you have gate exam in Feb, automatically you're going to split it into the 6 months and approx timelines would be drawn for each of these chapters, right? So that's how an overview is created. But a more detailed approach is usually undertaken in the next phases. Okay. Um, like I said, length of bar denotes the duration of activity, times on one axis, and the activities on the other. So activity in this case, you can see under the task name, which is vertically written as the column. And the time is in the horizontal row. Okay. So what's the advantage? It's very simple. It's very visual. It's easy to comprehend and understand. However, I can't understand the interdependencies between these activities, which is one of the major disadvantages in this. So how does planning affect research? How does research affect design? None of that is visible in this particular one because all of these are all parallel lines. They look like they're independently functionable, which becomes an issue for us. Okay. There's another chart called the milestone chart under bar charts, which basically has more milestones at the end of it. So rather than working, with just bars or graphs, you also add in points of milestones. So you're looking at subtasks where you achieve that subtask and you're like, okay, 50% progress is done, 20% progress is done when you achieve those particular milestones. Okay, so this is the first type. Now we're coming into the second type of second technique, which is the work breakdown structure, which is basically a hierarchy. Okay, so we're looking at a major level one, which is the project, which is the construction of a house in this case. The level two is all of these white boxes, the planning and administration, the substructure, envelope, the finishes, carpentry, utility system. All of these are all subtasks. Okay, so they're major components in building a house, but ultimately they are sub components of building the house. So they become the level two. And from this level two, automatically you list out the subtasks. You say, okay, in planning, you need permissions, you need to prepare the drawings for it, you need to list out the specifications for it, what is the kind of rendering, all of that. So this becomes your level three, which is your sub components. Okay. So here we again have another example where we have building construction as the major project. Foundation, superstructure, finishing could be your level two. And subcomponents could include excavation, concrete, plastering, painting, or such activities. So here we have like a detailed example. So what happens is that from the previous one, we have a little more level of clarity. We have a division of responsibility. We know what's to be done. And Over here, if I'm done with this particular task, or if I'm done, it becomes like a checklist, right? So once I'm done with all of these four, I'm done with say 20% of the project. So this is technically like a milestone chart, but then you have levels. In a milestone chart, you do not have levels. So all of your tasks are on the same level. You're looking at all of these five and yes or no, and then just finishing it off. Over here, this hierarchy helps you understand whether or not you need to look at it in detail. Okay, that's the kind of thing we're looking at. Now, coming into our main topic, we have the PERT and the CPM. Okay, so PERT is Program Evaluation and Review Technique. CPM is Critical Path Method. We also have three other techniques that are widely used, but they're very more detailed and it's not really in your scope. One is the TOPS, which is Techniques of Project Scheduling. We have SCANS, which is Scheduling and Control by Networks. We have UNETICS, which is Uniform Network Technique for Integrated Construction Schedule. Okay. So I'm going to look at PERT and CPM very clearly, but if you really want to learn a little more about it, then once I upload all of this material, you can take a look at these particular networks. Okay. But then it's not really in your GATE syllabus, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. CPM, it was developed in 1957 by DuPont. It's a deterministic method where you use one duration, fixed duration. It's better when you use it for construction and repetitive projects. Okay. So the key outputs that you look at, which is critical path, slack of load, time cost trade-off, etc. We'll look at it. So you'll understand as and when I go. And this is just like a few bullet points for you to remember when you later on come back and take a look at it. All of these words will mean something to you by the end of this session. Okay, so PERT was developed in 1958, US Navy Polaris project. It's a probabilistic method where you use three time estimates: optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic. It's best for R&D and uncertain projects, something that has not been attempted before. What are the key outputs? You can understand the project duration, what's the probability of completion, the critical path, so on. Okay. So what are all of these terms? It might seem alien to you. I'm going to delve a little deeper into it. This is the summary where we're looking at all these methods that I just spoke about and what kind of type or what kind of particular technique is that, what does it focus on, and what is it best for. Okay, it's like a quick summary. So bar charts are graphical and time versus activity. We saw the chart. We have x-axis, y-axis. It's better for all of these small and simple projects or overviews of bigger projects. So basically the step one. Okay. The work breakdown structure is hierarchical. You have breakdown of tasks. It helps you structure the project. PERT is a probabilistic model where it helps you identify time which is uncertain. It's used in R&D, innovation design, something that's not been done before. CPM is critical path method, which is a deterministic model. You use time and cost, which is your focus. The construction industrial projects, the reason that I've mentioned all of this is because these are all very repetitive. Okay. So anything that you want to repeatedly do and achieve perfection, CPM is a much better process or technique to follow. It's much easier that way too. Okay. Top scans and unetics, these are just basic information that you can take a look at later.